This episode of Chewing the Fat is brought to you by the Secret Hub Studios in conjunction with netchannel2.com.
Hello everyone, it's Chewing the Fat, episode 31 for the 19th of April 2012, and once again I'd love you to have a nice squiz at Glenn's face. Here we go. Hello Glenn.
Hello Eric, how you doing? Hello everyone, good to be here. Loving it to be here.
Good, excellent. How you been?
Yeah, not bad. I hear it's a bit rainy down there. It's a bit rainy up here, but not as bad as down there. Quite
It's
sunny
been
today.
pouring, flash floods. It's out of control, really.
All I've been hearing out of your joint down there is rain. Like you've just had a lot of rain lately.
Yeah, last 2 days. Last 3 days, actually.
But even like over the previous weeks, it's been a lot.
Oh, look, this whole summer's been rainy. It's been... Actually, they were saying that they're going to have to open the Warragamba Dam in the next couple of days.
Yeah, right.
Let it flow. Let it flow.
Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Yeah. So what you've got an interesting take on a story, and I'm dying to know what it is. So do you wanna start off?
Okay, Bob Hawke wanted
Yes.
a blind date for Bob Hawke, and so the heading goes. What is happening is Bob Hawke's been wheeled out around the place.
The wheeled out. He's that old.
New South Wales election, Queensland elections. The Labor Party keeps on losing members, losing faith, losing the faith.
Do you reckon they'd be paying him to do this? Because the guy's 80 plus.
He's probably got enough money. He might be doing it for free. But the silver fox is up for grabs. He's being wheeled around the Labor traps as the grand prize for any members who can convince two agnostics to become true believers for the whole mighty amount of $5.
What?
So there's a recruiting drive, and if you can get someone to become a member, they're in the running to have a dinner with Bob Hawke. The story goes, existing comrades are being sent membership forms which can be used to spread the good word and enter the first round of recruiting to win challenges. 5 lucky winners will be wined and dined by the great silver fox himself.
Oh, look, I don't know. He'd get many takers, would he?
Oh yeah, probably. You wouldn't want to be paying for the beer though, would you?
Oh no, he'd drink you under the table.
You saw they won at the cricket just last year.
Yes, that's right. He's still got it, hasn't he? He's still got it.
What'd you say? He was 85.
Oh, he's 80-something. He's in his 80s, I'm pretty sure. Early 80s. Could be wrong.
Someone passes him a schooner of beer at the cricket while he's walking up the steps, and they the crowd goes into the skull, skull, skull chant. And old Bobby skulls it. Did well too. Didn't spill a drop.
No, didn't spill a drop, and he was still good on his feet afterwards.
Yes. Yep. And you can see the video on YouTube. It's all over YouTube.
Yeah, just put in Bob Hawke and beer.
In April, the Labor Party saw just over 400 new members join the party, which is a record.
Really? In when? What month?
In April.
400 people. Oh, but you know what they do. Hate to be cynical.
They resign and
No. They just sign people up. Like fictitious people.
Yeah, but for $5.
Yeah.
Like,
Liberals. The liberals $70 a year to be a Liberal Party member, and I don't care who you are. They're not given discounts because I don't think they'd be. They don't have an empty cupboard. Put it that way.
One ALP supporter who received the membership email said it evoked visions of Julia Roberts' starring role as the Lady of the Night in the romantic comedy Pretty Woman. Bob Hawke, the Pretty Woman of the ALP. I could be his Richard Gere.
Oh, good God. Oh, geez. It's starting to get a bit homoerotic now.
Yeah, so there you go. So you can enter that. Look, what's this story? Oh, it's been tweeted once. 4 people have liked it.
Yeah, and that'll be it. They'll be the only people buying the raffle or whatever they call it.
That's everything that the ALP's got. That's the only thing they got, isn't it?
Bob Hawke, yeah, they won't trot out Keating because they don't want to get garbage thrown at them.
But even though, like, Keating was a personality, he was a good personality.
He was a good personality, and look, he added something, didn't he? He was never boring. I mean, he might have been a complete tool, but he was never boring. And I tell you what, he's got a little bit more integrity than some of the people in there at the moment.
Yeah, yes. It's got here, here's a list of, oh no, that's a list of rubbish. No, I won't read that out. There's a list of Canberra's 15 most powerful people.
Yeah, and who's on it?
I don't know if this is actually in any sort of order, but Andrew Wilkie,
Right.
Anthony Albanese,
Oh, he's a tool.
Bill Shorten, Christine Milne.
Tool.
The diplomats, rarely seen by the public, the representatives of the foreign governments swim elegantly through the sea of egos in Canberra, collecting information and seeking to influence politicians, the media, and business in their country's interests. And most influential of all is the American ambassador, the local embodiment of Australia's most deeply embedded foreign relationship. Ian Watt, Joe Hawke, Julia Gillard, Kevin Rudd, Peter Slipper.
Are they ranked? Is Julia Gillard at the bottom?
This is ranked. I don't think this is ranked. Stephen Conroy. But you would imagine that obviously the government is going to fare well in this list because it's the most influential and powerful. So
well, because they're in power. They're not doing a good job, but they're in power.
Yeah. Wait till they get out of power.
Yeah, they'll be nowhere to be seen. I'll be driving up to the Macca's and she'll be at the window saying, "Well, do you want fries with that?"
You see, we had some strife up here with the Minister for Police.
Yes. Did the right thing. We
and
discussed
good
this
on
off
Campbell.
air, and yes, correct. Did the right thing.
So the Minister of Police was up here in Queensland. He's only been in the job for a few weeks. He was caught driving without a licence. He was suspended sometime last year. And Campbell said, yes, I'll accept that resignation. Thank you.
Yes, because he said at the very beginning, no member of Parliament is going to be let off the hook if they screw up. They're not going to do the Craig Thompson and we'll hide it and we'll defer it and we'll, take 4 years to come up with a report or anything like that. No, straight up, you're fired. See you later.
What do you think about this whole Julian Assange?
I think he's been treated unfairly.
Now there was a bit of talk about it on Monday night. I think it is on this week's Q&A.
I didn't watch it, but carry on.
You can download that. It had Jeffrey Robinson on it.
I like him.
Yeah, who sat right next to Nicola Roxon.
Did he punch her?
I don't know. He might have wanted to.
Because I tell you, she's Attorney General, but she is a lightweight compared to Jeffrey Robertson. He would have eaten her lunch. She is useless.
But she's nothing. I don't even know if she's got a law background.
I don't know. Why don't we Google her? Someone Wikipedia Nicola Roxon, please. And yeah, you'll do it. I'll keep talking. Well, you're doing that. I'm gonna get to the next story. Then we can come back to Nicola Roxon. This is my first story. Julia Gillard has ALP on pole footing. Now, I find this quite interesting because the election isn't for 18 months, just say 15 months. And apparently, according to this story, which was in the Australian today, Julia Gillard has formed a National Labor Election Campaign Committee. They love committees, don't they? They plan the plan. They have a committee for a committee. And all they do is, it's just more money being spent on shit. The committee is aiming to provide a longer-term focus for political strategy for the Gillard government after the concentration of the daily news cycle of the Rudd government. Well, she's doing the same thing. The 10-member committee. Do you believe this? 10-member committee. And she'll ignore all the advice. What's that?
It's a joke.
Oh, it is.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Now, it's on here is obviously her, the ALP National Secretary and George Wright and State Representative held its first strategy meeting as Labor ponders the electoral wipeout in the Queensland election. Now, on current polling, the Gillard government would be wiped out if a House of Representatives election were held now, with possibly only 1 or 2 Labor MPs surviving in Queensland. Wouldn't that be funny? They have to get another Tarago. The election
They use the same one.
They use the same one. Actually, let's just whip those seats up at the back because I think they convert to 10-seaters.
That's right. Just whip them up and take the booster seat.
That's right. You lose your boot space, but what the hell? It's your opposition. You gotta ride somewhere.
I'll keep the booster in for Anthony Albanese.
Yeah, because he's a big baby. Wah. Yeah, put your bib on, put our elbow in the back.
That's right. So yeah, like it's just ridiculous.
So
Like,
15 months out from the a possible election, or 18 months, they've got a committee. They are, to me, you're running scared. If you're, and well, actually, no, you're not running scared because the the Liberals would have already a what you call it, like the war room, that there's strategy committee and all that sort of stuff. You know what the difference is? They don't know. Julia Gillard had to put this in a news cycle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would you release that? The best thing she could have done was keep this secret.
Like we were talking before the show about these news cycles.
Yes.
And I was saying like they don't have to play the news cycle game.
No, they don't.
Like, really?
No, they don't. That's right.
They don't have to play the cycle game. But I don't know why they want to.
Because they don't know any other way. I think.
Yeah.
I think they're just so entrenched in their pathetic ways that they just don't know any other way. But you would have thought the last thing the Labor Party would let the Liberal Party know, your enemy, effectively your adversary, is tell them what you're up to. Why would you do that? It's no wonder they need a committee because, lesson one in a strategy, don't tell your adversary what you're up to. That's a strategy right there, you morons.
Yeah.
The Liberal Party don't tell everyone going, the Liberal Party's on pole footing. They've got a 10-member committee trying to work out how they're going to smash the Gillard government. They're just doing it quietly in the background. They're already doing it. They're doing it. They're there. They meet every week and they're just digging up stories and getting all the dirt that they can from this government. But no, the ALP, they've got to go onto the news cycle and make sure everyone knows that we're on pole footing. Strategy mistake number one, you pricks.
Yeah. It's like we're going through. I don't know if do you guys go through council elections?
Yes, we do.
When are you guys up for them? Where are we going through them again now?
Not sure. It's been a while actually. Council elections.
So we're going through them now, and like it's interesting. Like I actually was surveyed through the week from the Nielsen. They rang me up.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and said who was.
And what was the questions?
And all this. Hey,
what were the questions?
Who was I voting for? And
for the council or just generally?
The council,
right?
Specifically the council,
right?
And then just who my first, second, and third was, and why, and have I heard of different things like have I heard of the art centre becoming an art precinct and all this, and did I agree with it, and all that sort of stuff,
right?
And
and what do you say? Liberal to every question, regardless of what sort of question you said. Liberal. Do you believe in the art centre? Liberal. Who are you going to vote for? Liberal. Why? Liberal.
Liberal. How old are you? Liberal.
That's right. Can you explain further? Liberal.
No, I look. There's people that have been in the council, obviously the incumbents, and my view is that I don't care who I'm voting for as councillor or for the mayor, but I will not, and I am not voting for an incumbent.
Who is the incumbent?
Well, Ron Clark was the incumbent mayor.
Oh, right. Is he Liberal or Labor? Or independent?
He's probably, I don't know. But he's independent because he stood down just a couple of months ago to have a go at the state election as an independent.
Ah, right. Okay, so he's independent.
He got 300 votes.
Why don't you go for the incumbent?
Because I don't agree with anything that's happened up here.
Fair enough.
The thing is just every time you open the paper, they're all squabbling amongst themselves.
So if they were doing a good job, you might change your position.
Yeah, I haven't been happy with them since pretty much Ron Clark came in 8 years.
Oh, he's been there that long. Okay.
Yeah, 2 terms. I haven't been just not happy with the whole lot of them. I just think it's disgraceful. It's just little things as well, like parking fines.
They go. All councils do that up here as well. They just go nuts on the parking meters and the parking fines. It's just a big grab.
You read stories about the cancer patients can't park at the hospital.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
All this it's all the relatives. The relatives come and visit them. The nurses have to walk about half a kilometre.
We've got that here as well. North Shore Hospital up here, just 7 kilometres from my place.
Yeah.
The nurses have got to go in. It's a hospital car park, and they've got to pay $20 a day to park there.
Yeah, it's a joke.
And there's nowhere else to park because you park on the street, you get a ticket.
These guys, these people who are representing us, and that's using that term loosely,
Yeah.
but got to wake up, come into the real world, and give themselves an uppercut.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to give
They,
themselves an
they,
uppercut,
they don't really care about anyone other than, and
Oh.
it's about getting elected for getting elected's sake, but we're not really doing anything for the people.
now there's a lady up here running, Susie Douglas. She's running for mayor. She's been the councillor for Service Paradise, I think it was. Now on the back end, she's taken out a full page wrap on the paper, and what she stands for, and which I should have kept it and read it out to you because it was hilarious. It really was. What she stood for was things like, I will encourage tourism. I will encourage the arts.
But how? How is she going to encourage the
Exactly.
arts or tourism or whatever?
It's
Just all talk, all talk.
Yep. And then there's one guy that's come along and he said, listen, he goes, I can't promise a rates freeze, but I can tell you one thing: we'll keep the rate rising less than anyone else. We're going to look into why business is going to like Ipswich. Why is it going to Logan? Why isn't it coming to the Gold Coast?
Because it's expensive to do business in the Gold Coast.
So
that's why.
Like this guy Tom Tate, he's the bloke I'm going to go for.
Tommy Tate, good on him.
And he's a businessman. He's been in business all his life. He doesn't need the money.
This is the thing. They need more experienced people who have dealt in the real world. The people who have to collect money, the people that have got debts outstanding, money owed to them. They owe people money. The real world, money in, money out. None of this just money in and I spend it like it's water. That's just ridiculous.
Right.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
That's one of the main points about the water. We had to sign our water rights away to the state government. Our water's gone up like 200%.
Yes, so have ours. It's ridiculous. The dams are full, but our water's gone up 200%.
Yeah, and so one thing that this guy's going to do if he gets in, old Tommy, is he said he was going to make the water a not-profit organised.
Yeah, break even. And have enough left over for infrastructure improvements, and that's it. The rest of it goes back to the ratepayer.
Yeah. So we got to pay the state government now compensation to take this water control back.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And it's talking figures like 80 million and all this.
That's
just a whole.
And you've got Anna Bligh to thank for that.
Yeah, that's another one.
Just raped the whole state, basically. Yeah. Well done, Anna. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying your pension or wherever the hell you are. Will you have fries with that?
So anyway, let's get out of Queensland.
No, I'm still in Queensland because
Yep.
Queensland Labor unveils shadow cabinet lineup. You're going to love this. With only 6 state Labor politicians left in Queensland, the ALP has its work cut out to cover the portfolios to take on Premier Campbell Newman. Opposition leader Anastasia, whatever.
Oh, she got it. I didn't know she got it.
Will oversee, get this. Now, I tell you what, you're going to have to be working 60 hours a day. Will oversee industrial relations, education, training and employment, tourism, small business, major events, the Commonwealth Games, and the arts. That's one person, right? That job would normally be to have one portfolio each.
Yeah.
Deputy Opposition Leader Tim Mulheron's duties include state development, planning, racing and agriculture. Why do they bunch racing and agriculture in the one portfolio? It's just because the horses eat grass? They think, oh, that's agriculture, we'll bump them in together?
Yeah,
are they that moronic?
Yeah, horses shit.
Yeah, horses crap. Far North Queensland MP, Labor MP, Curtis Leader is the leader of opposition business, Treasury, trade and main roads. See, again, that's a weird combination. Trade and main roads. What are you selling the roads? I don't understand that. It's weird.
When there's so many portfolios that go around so little few, well, I suppose you've got to be bunching up somewhere.
Yeah, you've got to be bunching up somewhere. Now, among other key portfolios, Joanne Miller takes on health. Desley Scott has child safety and transport. Is that children? It's children travelling safely? Is that what that means? Child safety and transport.
Is that a fair income portfolio?
Yeah, that's one portfolio. Child safety and transport. While newcomer Bill Byrne has police, corrective and emergency services. See, that makes sense. Those three together make sense.
Yeah.
The opposition says some positions may be reviewed depending on the outcome of the South Brisbane by-election later this month. So Anna Bligh, resigned from Parliament. Gee, what a cow. Bloody, I didn't get me, why am I going to go away? Idiot.
Yeah, she should have probably stayed.
And
Okay.
she wouldn't stay. One thing the Labor politicians don't like is losing face. They really don't like it. They're just the most cowardly, ill-principled, disgusting human beings.
Well, she should have stayed. I don't think she's done them any favors. I don't think they.
Oh, she's dirt now in their eyes because she's abandoned the sinking ship. You know what's happened? The captain, she's of the Titanic, has jumped off first before anyone else. That's what's happened.
Yeah.
Well done.
So,
Women and children first. Get out of my way.
So anyway, Nicola Roxon, can't see any of her education here except that she was educated at the Methodist Ladies College in Melbourne and the University of Melbourne. She ultimately came to the view that governments have got a rule to make sure that they can help people in circumstances they can't control, either through their health failing or an accident.
What does that mean? That's typical Labor spin crap. Doesn't mean anything.
She has publicly stated she's an atheist.
Oh God, is that what she does now? This woman, this atheist prime minister. She just goes, well, if you believe in God, you can sit over there next to Albo.
I don't know. Who knows? She between 92 and 94, she was employed as a judge associate to High Court Justice Mary Gaudron.
Is she an atheist too?
Oh, probably. She then became involved with the trade union movement, surprisingly.
What a surprise.
Joining the National Union of Workers as an organiser. Roxon was also an industrial lawyer. Well, there you go.
Oh, she's an industrial lawyer. Oh, that's typical. They all are. Gillard was an industrial lawyer too. Basically, you're working for the unions. Oh, you can't go past that demarcation line. That's the forklift side. You're a plumber. So we're going to go on strike because you crossed over to his line. That's what industrial lawyers do. They're just scumbags.
And senior associate with the law firm Morris Blackburn from 96 to 98.
So she's got 2 years worth of legal experience, and now she's apparently she's the most influential lawyer in the country, and she's had 2 years experience. I've got more law experience than she has.
Probably I have too.
Yeah.
She served on committees.
Well, yeah, of course she has. She's Labor. That's all they do.
Including the Standing Committee on Industry.
What about the Sitting Committee?
Science and Resources, and the Joint Select Committee on the Republic referendum.
Well, of course you did. You sat on your ass. We want to get rid of the Queen. She believes in God.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, she's out of control. So that's a funny one. What else you got?
Oh, what else we got? Let's go back to my things. That's why we were going down the Assange track, wasn't we?
Yes, that's right. Yes, I think he's been treated unfairly. I think that this government has basically wiped their hands off him without trying to. Well, basically they've said you're guilty, and they're not. They just won't represent their own. Someone gets stuck in Bali on drugs, and they send someone over there to get him back. Oh, diplomatic bloody we'll send someone over there. We'll talk it out. We'll sort it out.
Rings them up.
Yeah, rings them up. You got any for me?
You got any Bali criminals for me to ring this week?
That's right. You got anyone I can get? This bleeding heart crap. But if it's someone that's against the government, no. But are you getting to the fact that about his lawyer? Are you getting to that? Is that what you're getting at?
No. What's that about?
Well, his lawyer today in London went to the airport to get on a plane back to Australia. Right? It's a girl. Can't remember her name now. Young lady, attractive young lady, apparently very well qualified, been working in London and as a lawyer for quite some time. And she went to get on a plane at Heathrow, and she was not allowed to get on the plane. And they said, "Sorry, you've been put on a travellers ban list by Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, DFAT."
You don't find these things out till you've paid for a ticket and actually pack and turn up to
get this. So she said, we've got to make a call to the embassy. So she's got on Twitter and basically said, at DFAT, DFAT, why am I on a banned travel list? And then she put it, and then someone interviewed her, and she said, is it because I'm representing Julian Assange that suddenly I'm on a list? So
Yeah.
how corrupt and crooked is this government? Just because they're representing someone that they don't like because they're scared of what he might actually blurt out, the truth. Hello, that they put. She's not a terrorist. They put her on a banned list.
So she wasn't allowed to go.
No, I think she might have got on a flight maybe a few hours later. But still, what a freaking inconvenience.
Yeah,
she had to get special permission. Do you believe that? Treated like a criminal. Special permission.
Yeah, that's no good. Is Assange going to go to Sweden?
I don't know. That's a tough call. Maybe. I don't know.
Robson reckons that you go to Sweden, that's just the pipeline straight to the FBI. Or CIA.
That's the pipeline. The reason they want him. You see that there's conspiracy theories abound that, and this is an FBI or CIA plot. This is a conspiracy. I'm not saying this is true, but there's talk around that. The reason suddenly someone put their hand up and said, "Yeah, he raped me in Sweden. I'm Swedish. He raped me."
It's just incidentally in Sweden, apparently that the trial or whatever you want to call it, the courtroom proceedings, they're secret.
Oh, is that right?
Because of the charge that brings us to a secret trial.
Oh, see, this is just a kangaroo court, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is typical. But what I was getting at, and you're on the right track there, is that you think, well, we've got to extradite this bloke. How do we extradite him? Who have we got an ironclad extradition treaty with? Oh, hello, Sweden. Whoever, if someone gets trialed in Sweden, and it's a secret trial. Oh, then gee, I wonder if he'll be found guilty. Interesting. And anyone that's found guilty, it's straight over to America because they've got this particular type of extradition treaty that there's no application needed. If they just make a phone call and say, we want him, they hand him over. But isn't that convenient that the person, he wasn't accused of rape in any other country that had weak extradition treaties with the US, right? So to me, it's a massive setup. And it's a massive setup. And
it's not right.
And Gillard sitting there in her atheist little chair going, she's a fair, you know who she is? She's Cruella de Vil out of the 101 Dalmatians. That's who she is.
Yeah.
She eats puppies for lunch.
Yeah.
That's who she is. She's horrible.
But there's talk like that he can come back. He wants to come back to Australia and run for the Senate or something.
Apparently, he can run for the Senate without being in Australia.
Really?
Yes. And so he's going to make a run for it. Even if he doesn't get back here, he can make a run for it. And he started his own talk show out of England on the internet.
Is that what I was reading about? I saw one article here that was titled Assange scores an exclusive, but he's no TV talent.
Oh, no. Well, who is when you first do your first interview?
This must have been an interview, though, with him.
Yeah, he had an interview with like a Pakistani leader of some political group or something. I can't remember exactly what.
Yes. And it's on YouTube.
Yes. Well, of course it is.
Tomorrow. Julian Assange, The World Tomorrow. Yeah, Pakistani.
Yep.
Speaking from a secret location.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. And they did throw one curveball at the end of the half-hour interview asking, isn't Allah or the notion of a God the ultimate superpower? And shouldn't you, as freedom fighter, also seek to liberate people from the totalitarian concept of a monolithic God?
Yeah, well, interesting. Look, Julian Assange is quite a bright fella. You know what? At the end of all this, he's going to go through hell and back. I'm just gut feeling he'll be free, and then all hell will break loose. And there are going to be some people who currently think they're sitting smug in their atheist chairs right now who are going to be in a hell of a lot of strife. That's my prediction, and I hope it's true.
Well, they don't want him running for Senate, do they?
No, they don't. You sit next to Conroy. How you going, Steve-O? What you doing? How's your NBN going, you little turd?
No, he goes, Conroy goes, geez, you don't talk to me much. He goes, I've got nothing to say. I already know what you do.
That's right. I've got nothing to say. By the way, here are some of your emails.
Here's something that you'll have to sort out next
week.
week.
That's right. You know the emails when you were getting the tender between Sky News and ABC. Well, I got all those. Do you want to have a read of them, mate? Because you kept saying I do not recall, and saying that everyone else is full of shit and I'm telling the truth. Well, I've got some emails here that might tell a different story. Steve-O.
Steve-O, you Devo.
Steve-O, you bloody... He looks like someone out of the Monkeys with his haircut.
Now, what's do you reckon that the ANZ and the bank should be raising their interest rates?
What, on a personal level or on a market level? Market.
I'll say, yeah, market.
All right. Well, the Reserve Bank is only there as a guideline, right? As a guide to what interest rates should be.
Yeah, that's right.
The banks are under no legal compulsion to follow that, even though for many, many years they have towed the line. Just like the Bible is a guideline to life, doesn't mean it's, true, but it's a guideline to how you should live your life, unless you're an atheist prime minister, in which case you can do what you damn well please because you've got no ethics. But at a market level, they can do what they want. I don't want them to raise interest rates because obviously that affects me too. I've got a mortgage the size of frickin' Ayers Rock, and but they are free to do what they want. What I don't like is their argument saying that funding costs are higher than they were during the GFC, and that's their excuse of raising rates. That's actually quite untrue. The funding rates aren't higher, and that's what gets me. The fact that they're lying. They must be Labor voters because they're just lying. If funding costs were higher, I think we would all go, okay, fair enough.
But how can they be when no one is, everyone is scratching around for stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what makes it expensive. When people aren't willing to deposit money because they're keeping it under their mattress, you've got nothing to lend. If people aren't putting money in the bank, you've got nothing to lend. If they're squirreling it away somewhere else, you've got nothing to lend. If they're out of work, there's no money going to their bank account, so you've got nothing to lend. So I understand that aspect of it, but the Reserve Bank report over the last 3 months states that funding costs have actually come down because even though Europe is in a shithole, a lot of America has started to now create jobs. Unemployment's coming down in America, so their funding costs, if they were to borrow their money from somewhere other than Europe, is actually coming down. So I think they're full of shit. Basically, they can do what they want, but I think they're full of shit. No, not that I've known of. No, well, the St. George Bank actually lowered their fixed interest rates.
Yeah, right.
During the week. Doesn't help me because I'm not on a fixed loan, so.
Well, you could be.
I could switch, but I couldn't be bothered.
Because apparently it's a lot cheaper now to switch.
Well, there's no exit fees if you switch banks. They've got rid of the, $1,000, bloody exit fee or whatever it is.
But apparently you don't have to pay all this mortgage stamp duty all the time. Is this true?
No, well, stamp duty's levelled by the states. I think in Queensland you don't have to pay stamp duty, but I guarantee you in New South Wales you do.
Yeah, right. Because I went to the bank a couple of weeks ago to another bank just to get a bit of keep them honest, so to speak.
Yep.
And well, what they were telling me was the switch fee was quite negligible.
Compared to $100 or $200 or something.
Well, just cost to get out. Like how much it was to deregister, re-register the mortgage, and whatever it was to the other previous bank charges to prepare it and all that sort of stuff. But like under $1,000 to $2,000, and then when you put all that into your calculation and the cheaper interest rate, well, that $1,000 to $2,000, well, you'd gain that you'd be ahead in probably about 8 months or to 12 months.
But it's still that much, is it? $1,000 or $2,000 to switch your loan?
Well, to deregister a mortgage, that's a state fee.
Right.
Up here, probably. Last time I did it was about 110.
Right.
So two of them, deregister and re-register.
Oh, because you're switching banks altogether.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I thought you were just switching product, like from variable to fixed on the same bank. Yeah.
No,
okay.
The whole bank. So then you got to deregister the mortgage, which is a registration as well. You got to pay to have that prepared, and all this sort of stuff. But there's a lot of fees, but it's a lot less because as far as I knew, you had to see mortgage stamp duty was assessed on the amount of your mortgage, like 0.4%.
Yeah, it's quite high. Yeah.
Mortgage, which come in the thousands of bucks. it depends on the size of your mortgage, and that was the main deterrent. Like all these switching fees, to me, that was just all crap.
Yeah,
Because
that's bullshit.
switching fees are what was that? The economic cost fee. So that means you're only paying that if
There's
you're
only
breaking
but there's only an
so-
economic cost if you're on a fixed loan. There's no
Well,
economic cost on a variable loan at all.
No, but is that what the switch fee was? Like, why was
No, well, the switch fee was just their admin fee of sticking it to you. So you've got the government fees, the registration, right?
Yeah,
And you forget the stamp duty. Let's assume that's gone. So you've got the registration, re-registration, and deregistration. Then you've got an application fee, maybe $300 because it's a new bank, right?
Yeah.
And a conveyance fee because it's a new registration, would probably be another $300. So there's your 1,000 just there. But then on top of that, they'd throw in 1,000, the bank fee, saying, "Well, because you're moving, we're going to stick you for 1,000."
Yeah,
Right. And then if you had a fixed loan, they'd stick you for, God knows, it could be up to $5,000 depending on the size of the loan and how long you've been in that loan.
Well, and if the interest rates have moved downwards.
Yeah, and if it's moved downwards, that's right.
Because you wouldn't have economic cost if the interest rates went up.
Well, you wouldn't, but the bank would come up with something, to be the service charge on the overcharge,
Yeah, walk in the door fee.
That's right.
I used to work with the bank, the National Bank, and they had a book that they called it the manual or whatever, and I think it must have been, I can't know if you can see me, but it's about 3 inches. Would have been 3 inches.
Yeah,
thick.
6 centimeters. Yep.
No, inches.
3 inches. Yeah, 6 centimeters.
Well, no, that'd be
1 inch. 1 inch is
eight,
1 inch is 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. So yeah, nearly 8, 7.5. Yep.
So 8 centimeters of fees.
So these are the fees that you could charge depending on the product, depending on the individual, depending on the whatever.
There was a fee for everything, and most of them were discretionary, but there was a fee for everything.
Yeah, good on them.
And like some of the bad fees were like, if you put a check in and it bounced, we had to pay like $10 just because you've deposited a check that bounced.
But they used to if you were writing the check, you get hit with $50. But if you were depositing the check, you get hit with $20. I'm thinking, hang on, it's not my check, and you're hitting me up.
That's right. That's right. Because the poor people, the poor bankies, they had to, debit your account.
Yeah, that takes all of 2 seconds, and it's all automated now anyway. The knobs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But
look, banks.
Yeah, so they've got rid of those exit fees that the banks can charge. That $1,000, on top of I call it the whatever fee.
Yes.
The whatever. But all those registration fees, I got it because I switched to a fixed loan a few years ago. I don't know if you remember, about 2 or 3 years ago, interest rates went up and up and up and up to about 8%, 9%.
Yep.
I sort of predicted that coming, and I got at the time the the variable rates were sitting around 7, and I thought to myself, this is going to go up to 9%. I'm going to switch. I switched to a fixed rate loan of for 3 years of something like 5.5.
Oh, gee, that's good.
For 3 years, and they kept going
good.
up and up and up. They went up to 8.5%. And I'm still sitting on 5.5, and then it expired. And so for 6 or 12 months, I was paying 9%. Oh, it nearly killed me.
Oh, jeez.
And then it went down. Then remember, it went right down to about 4.
Yeah.
I think at the lowest I was paying was 4.89%. The lowest when it went right down.
Yeah, right.
So I'm now paying 6.6% on my loan.
Yeah. Geez, mine. Not sure what mine is. Mine be high 6s.
Yeah.
Looking at fixing. I'm just looking up the interest rates here now.
Yeah, what are the fixed rates? I might, if it's going to go up, the problem is, see, with this government, because the more money you spend, the more deficit the governments run, the higher interest rates are going to be, generally, right? So you want to fix it. But with election coming up, there's a good chance the confidence in the market will come back and people will probably start spending more money again. Interest rates might actually come down, depending on how inflationary that money spending becomes.
Well, so you've got
so it's hard to know.
The NAB, I don't know if other banks offer it, but like they've got a 10-year fixed.
Oh, gee, you wouldn't get into that. What's the rate on that?
Yeah, it depends if it's cheap enough. It's a bit high for me.
What is
but
it?
The 10-year fixed, this is not the comparison rate. This is just the interest rate.
Yeah.
Is 8.09.
Oh, no way. That's crazy shit.
But then you come back down to 5, 6.84. Okay,
Yeah.
compared that to 3 years, 6.43. So 6.43, that's not too bad.
That's
I
not
think you'd
too
be-
bad. So
you'd be happy with-
that's 3 years? But see, you know what those fixed rates tell you? The banks have done their modelling, and they're saying that we predict that in 10 years, the rates are going to be 10% or 8%. That's what they're predicting. So that's something you look at and go, well, okay, in 10 years, it's going to be 8%. Closer to the 10-year mark from now, so 2020 something. You know why they're predicting it's going to be 8%? Because that's when the full cost of the NBN is going to be known, and everyone's going to go, holy shit, and the interest rates are going to go through the roof. That's why they're predicting that it's going to be 8%. So 2 or 3 years before that date, before 2014, then you probably look at it and go, all right, I'm going to fix it now.
Well, my current interest rate 6.78 variable.
Yeah, that's all right. That's pretty good.
But see, what was it? What did I say? 6.78 variable. Well, see, I could lock in for 5 years at 6.84.
Yeah, if you believe it's going to go up, yeah. Have you got an offset account on yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so you're paying less. See, on a fixed rate loan, you don't get an offset account, so you'll effectively be paying more, even though the interest rate is lower.
Yeah, I still get offset.
You will on the fixed loan. You might want to check that.
Yes. Yeah, I've got some like portfolio facility that bundles everything up together, and it's all in together. So you've got your debits and your credits all in this one facility.
Right.
So
regardless of whether it's fixed or not, you'll get the offset for any amount of cash you got sitting elsewhere.
Yes,
Oh,
as far as
okay.
I know.
Right. Yeah, because that's good. Because if a lot of people make that mistake, they actually go, oh yeah, interest rate's 5% on a fixed loan, I'll do that, and they don't realise, well, hang on a minute, I've got all this cash sitting on that's not being offset. I'm screwed. I'm actually paying more in actual interest. Forget the interest rate. What's your actual interest cost?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm on 6.6, but my effective rate is probably 6.5 because of the offset.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I've worked that backwards, but yeah. But it's interesting. It's hard to know what to do.
Yes. Never mind.
Hard to know what to do. So what else did you have going tonight?
Oh, look, that'll do me. There's a couple of NBN stories here, but everyone's probably sick of hearing about it. They're just basically this guy, what's his name? Simon Hackett, what's his name? He's the CEO of Internode. He's saying that the anti-cherry picking laws should be dismantled, and what they are is anti-cherry picking refers to ISPs. They're not basically when the NBN thing was being drawn up, they put in a law that says that ISPs aren't allowed to put fibre networks in high population density areas in competition with the NBN. That's what that is. Right. So that's lovely corrupt government that's done that. So Simon Hackett's saying, look, this should be dismantled because it's antiquated and it's probably a little bit monopolistic. So we'll see how that goes. He's going to fight that, I think.
Good.
Get
him anyway.
Yeah, NBN, it's going to be a joke. What else do we know about Julia? And there's just one last story on the NBN where an analyst says that NBN blowout is inevitable. But we knew that.
We all know that.
It's 15 months behind schedule. Only. Because of fundamental shortcomings in Labor's policy and that cost blowouts are inevitable. So there you go. Something to read. That's in the show notes that you'll never see because we don't have a website yet.
Don't you have some blog, Poctum or something you put them up on?
Look, I could post them up there. I probably should, together with the I can embed the YouTube video up there. I should probably do that.
Or just put a link there for the Google Docs. Can you do that?
No, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just cut and paste a lot.
I
think
think. All right.
Might be easier.
Cool.
All right, well that's it. Chewing the Fat. Episode 31 in the can. Thanks, Lenny. Thanks, mate. Thanks for your participation.
This episode of Chewing the Fat
No
is
problems.
brought to
We'll see
by
you
the
all
Secret
next
Hub
week.
Studios
See you guys.
in
Thanks very
conjunction
much.
with netchannel2.com.